Hello, and back to the Mr. Arsenal podcast for basically what is the final episode of our mini little series we've done for the All or Nothing Arsenal documentary on Amazon. For the last couple of weeks, me and Go got together, watched back for ourselves, and obviously did a watch along / reaction for these will be by the end of the night 8 episodes of the documentary. Slow burner the first week, got going last week with more juice to get our heads around as well concerning the Aubameyang situation. And then we're here today with the final episode focusing, I believe, on the final 10 games from literally after the Villa. Where we left off was we just beaten Villa 1-0. Everyone's buzzing. The Mikel Arteta song comes into full play. And now, it's international break's been and gone, and it's Palace up next Monday night under the lights. We all know what's on there. But Gary, what have you made of this documentary so far?
As you said, as some people like to say, it's kind of like an up and down roller coaster ride in terms of what your expectations and what you got out of it. So the parts on the pitch and stuff, we've already seen it, so I already had my mind made up. The parts in the background is the things that I was kind of looking forward to, like everybody else. And some of that was interesting. Some of it was, a little, but I don't think you're going to get too much. But I think it was, if they wanted to showcase Arteta, they did a good job. Let's just say that.
I think that's been the main sort of talking point for last week.
Yeah, if they wanted to talk about if they wanted to show the other players, that's kind of where I'm like, I wish they would have done that, because I would like to know the players a little bit more. I mean, I think we all have seen that Saka and probably think we know how he is, and we saw that come out. But some of the other players, it would have been nice to see as well. So, yeah.
Tom's been a bit cheeky in the chat now. It's been a bit cheeky considering where his team is at the moment. Because when we beat him home and away last season with ease, he can't really go there.
Oh, Mr. Tom, what are you doing to yourself? Oh, man, guys, he's been on probation on my channel, and now it's just extended another week. So, he's never out of probation. So, all right.
There's always one of us to ruin it, though, isn't it? Don't worry, you're going to lose. You'll probably get battered by Chelsea at the weekend, like you always do. So, ho hum.
Yes. Hello to everybody in the chat. See Troy, see Newman. That's Newman's, and it's the anti-Newman, I think. Mr. Bungle and Mr. Tom. So there you go.
Oh dear. But and whilst we're getting ready to watch it at our end, if you want to watch it with us, feel free. We'll get your thoughts in the chat. Feel free. We'll go through them as well whilst we're going through the episodes as well. I think they're both just shy of an hour long, aren't they? These episodes.
Yeah.
Just shy. Yeah, give or take. And if you haven't already, do subscribe, do smash that like button and all that. So if you want to become a member, it goes across the screen there. There's all the details are there for you. And we'll get underway.
Cool. All right. So I just wanted to share the link if I could. Yeah. And Mr. Gungo's calling me a geezer. I think that's a good thing.
I think so, yeah. We one time.
All right, so we'll go ahead and get started here. So I'm clicking play now.
Okay, yeah. Nick Hill will be Manager of the Month award for the hell that pursued. That fucking award was a curse last year. So any manager won it. The following month, they had a fucking month from hell. And Mikel wins it at the worst time possible.
That's the football gods. They are laughing at us no matter what. They find a way to give us a little bit of a banana peel, and they know how to do it. Do a good job.
They can laugh. They won't be laughing They won't be laughing next May. Trust me.
What's funny is they say the curse of the manager, and it's like, they're just trying to set you up, to bring it down. So we're skipping this intro here. So Let's do this.
I just know that intro song. One day, at some point in the next week or two, I'm going to be asleep. I'm going to hear that in my sleep.
Yeah. It's actually not that bad of a song. Like,
No.
Yeah.
We just got become accustomed to it. He's like,
now is that just a regular song, or is that actually a song they made?
I need to find out. I don't know. I'd have to find out.
Yeah. The training facility looks so clean, right? I mean, it's like a hospital.
Hmm. Yeah, this is basically that's the players coming back from. For anyone who's not watching or haven't watched it or hasn't got it on yet, they're just in the treatment room, basically getting all the players back from international duty, make sure they're all tip top, basically for the upcoming game.
Yeah,
and they're talking about
team meeting now.
Yeah, and what was it? One of the physios was asking Tindy if he has Nicola Sturgeon's number because Thomas Partey's got the Ghanaian president's number, and then Rob Holding's in the room. Rob, have you got Boris Johnson's number? And they all just pissed themselves.
Yeah, there, BX Gunner, welcome. Didn't miss anybody. Yeah.
We haven't even got to that bit yet. I think that's in the next episode. I can't remember what episode that is now. It gets touched on.
Yeah.
But yeah, evening to yourself or morning where you are. I don't know.
It just showed a video of I think it's Xhaka coming in to cheer with the fans, and he took out a cameraman.
Yeah. And then we're going to laugh about it. Like, next time that'd be a red card normally. Next time, be careful. I know you got booked, but be careful, please.
Now you know why he gets reds.
Yeah.
Even when he's celebrating, having a good time, he still takes out an official. So.
Taking out the staff still.
He'll take out a cameraman. So you know what? Nah, you get red. He's building up reds all the time. So there you go. Yeah. So now we just playing away at Crystal Palace. At some point, I will get the stadium names down, but I'm going to have to study.
Oh, Selhurst Park, yeah.
Yeah. I should know that one because Tony brings it up all the time because of a quiz or something that he got it right, but was told it was wrong. So something like that. And off we go. Game started here.
Yeah. The nightmare fought the night. Was it night? I think yeah.
Yeah.
12 days of hell we had from this game onwards.
Let's go BX. Yeah, that game. Well, I mean, if they, if you want to kind of upset yourself, get upset really quickly, just put on episode 7. I mean, they don't waste any time. Let's see, we are 5 minutes in, and I'm upset. 2 goals have been scored, and we don't respond, and the match is over. Voila! Thank you. Oh my god! I know. Oh no, it's halftime. Sorry, I keep forgetting it's halftime. To have more of this.
I wish it was over. I literally remember watching the stream. I was like,
okay, this is the part that I get. This is the part that I like about the documentaries because I feel like I'm screaming these things in the watch-alongs, and then hear Arteta basically saying the same things. It's like, all right, he just hasn't been able to figure out how to get these guys on board consistently because they're all on board a lot, but in this type of situation, not so much.
I don't want to spoil nothing, by the way, but I think it is in this episode. I think now, but it's either Southampton or the next game after this, Brighton. He's that pissed with them for all time. He actually starts screaming and shouting in their faces. He's that annoyed with them.
Yeah.
And again, I like to see this again.
And you know what? I don't know. I would like to know. I always said, we lose a game, we lose another game, right? We always take the loss to the next one. We did that consistently, and And
downfall
for
last season,
example,
yeah.
here we go down 2, and we take that first half performance and once again bring it to the next half. Somebody
Yep.
needs to break through. I mean, I think now with Jesus, we have somebody who can break through
Yeah.
and just make that point as far as up top, because you can see every time we try to come back, our attempts are never crisp enough, to get the goal in, no matter what. All right, it's 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper, and our shot is right at the goalkeeper, and it's an easy stop. So
Again, this one a penalty for me. He thought he slips over his own feet.
yeah, I mean, just because there's this, I mean, there's going to be contact in the box unless you're not allowing the defender to play any defense. All right, and then this is Partey, I think, is just coming off, if I recall, with an injury. So this is as if it wasn't bad enough. Now Partey's out. So now they're back in the locker room. It's really quiet. See, he said slap, and it's actually you get punched in the face. Arteta. A slap is kind of nice in this situation. We got punched in the face, punched in the mouth in this game, and we had no response. Not a response that garnered a goal. Yeah. Yeah. I think there's been a lot of shows on today, so hopefully people are gonna come over and hang out in a little bit.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Big's gonna definitely. Bournemouth shouldn't even sniff an opportunity to get something out of this game. I listened to a Bournemouth podcast, and most of them, realistically, they're like, nah, it shouldn't even be in it. That we're not getting any points. But it's Arsenal, and so we need to make sure it's not Arsenal of old, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, I think again, like you say, better Jesus, better than Jenko. And if you, I went in the group chat yesterday. One of the group chats yesterday I was mentioning, because obviously the under 21s were playing yesterday, and Smith, Vieira, and Cedric were playing in the starting lineup. I've got to say, even though it's 45 minutes for Vieira, I'm really impressed with what I'm seeing of him. It does seem that the plan is to play him on the wing. I will say that though. So maybe he's a bit of backup to Saka, or competition with Saka. I don't know.
Well, whatever, we need competition all over, so it doesn't really matter. We're 9 minutes in here. You've got the leadership group talking. You got Arteta. You got Tim Lewis. You've got Benai. Don't know. I think I do just stepped in as well. So
yeah,
talking about the game.
The club doctor in there as well. He's about to put in news or part. He's out for the rest of the season. Tierney's out for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I kind of feel like this is one of those things where I would like to know what Albert's thinking, because I feel like he seems like a more senior. He's been in the game a little bit longer.
Yeah,
as far as experience with coaching, and I know Arteta's got some really good quality people around him. So these are the types of situations I'm like, what would he be saying? Arteta definitely has a plan, but it's just a wonder of how much extra input he gets. Hello, Adam.
This is a different sort of name. I've never seen this one before.
Adam in the Marmite pants. I mean, so Marmite pants, just Marmite by itself, and now you got pants. I don't. Oh, hey Russ, welcome. So Russ earlier today in one of the chats. So
yeah,
we're laughing at United. So
of course, you got to do that.
Back to the training room, which I don't. This is supposed to be a football documentary, and so far we've been in the training room twice now. So they're seeing players on the tables, and now they're back to another team meeting with Arteta. He's got the score up for the match. And you know what? This is kind of what we always talked about. Do you want to put some, newspaper clippings up or something up there to kind of like,
Mm.
not rub it in, but tell everybody,
Motivate
look,
them.
we don't want, we can't do this again, right? So, yeah. The fact that we know how this thing's going to end, and then you hear Arteta talking to these guys in the meeting, and you're like,
Mm.
how do we still not come out? How do we not come out the way we wanted to? Right? He's basically saying things I would expect the manager to say at this point
Yeah.
with the games that he knows are very important, and he
Mm.
stresses that as well. So for anybody who's looking at this and then goes, Arteta, you are poor. I would think you. I don't think that's what you're missing the point.
No, it's mentality of personnel. It just it rolled over game after game for it at one point. It's,
Mm.
like you said just then before, and we said it back into last season. There was a pattern. Whenever we lost a game, it rolled over into another game, and then obviously near the end of the season, 3 or 4 games. It's just ridiculous. I mean, with what was it, 3 games to go, all we needed was at least 4 points out of the. Looking back now, 6 out of the 9 points. If we'd taken 6 out of 9, we would be in Champions League instead of the Europa League. But no, we had to lose one game and then lose the next.
Yeah.
It's reaction. It's not just a result either. It's the performances in them defeats as well.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where I always say, I will always say for a goalkeeper they have to make that save. These are the types of games where somebody has to make a play on the pitch that gets everybody up and ready to go.
Mm.
And I don't think we ever got that, because we needed that.
Mm.
And
Yeah,
and
but it's kind of saying his touch and passing looked good. But talking about Fabio Vieira last night, could have an impact like Oscar at Chelsea years back before money went to his head. But possibly or better, never know. And this bunker's having a laugh about Adam's name, so to say. He's the Adam and he's you know what. BX has also got to say all or nothing has shown him. Arteta has it in him to win. He has arguably the hardest rebuild, barring Manchester United, as we now know.
yeah, yeah, they yeah, you can say they definitely started theirs later than ours because they able to maintain a top 4 status for a bit. All right, longer than us. This is so
Mm.
and they may be in outside the top 4 again, depending on based on
That's
how
what
this
expect
season's
to
going to
be.
go. So, and now this is a pretty cool conversation that just happened there. Right around 14 minutes, you've got the youngsters talking at a table, and Zombie talking about not being happy about playing, and Kedia's like, basically, look at me,
Yeah.
essentially, look at
You
me.
can't
I'm not,
complain. I'll be here longer.
I'm not playing. You can't be talking about that, and it's like, yeah. So it's interesting to listen to that because you're always like, do these guys want to get out there and play? And they do,
Mm.
And then you wonder when you do get that opportunity to get out there, why does it look like that?
Mm.
Why doesn't it look like somebody wants to be out there and stay out there? So you got Tomiyasu and his civvies, as they call it here.
Yeah.
He's not playing. Partey, I don't think, was
Oh,
actually
light
in the
bulb.
locker room. So,
Here comes the light bulb moment.
oh yes, the light bulb. For those who may have seen, I don't know, they've made memes about it yet, but he's getting light bulb, and then he's talking about the light bulb is nothing without a connection.
Mm.
For me, this seems like something I would have liked to have seen at practice.
Yeah.
And instilled in practice every day. So by the time you get here, they already know, and
What
it's
the
not.
message is, yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if they did it, but I'm just saying this is the only time we see it. But because the message is pretty clear, And what would have been cool is if we had everybody have a light bulb in their hand or part of the cord in their hand, you know. I'm, you
Yeah.
know, I mean, he probably just thought this thing up as at the beginning. How am I gonna hit? How am I gonna get these guys on my side? Yeah, yeah. I think he'll learn his. This is the thing, where he's he's in his third year, finished up his third year.
This will be his first season, his third full season. Yeah,
Yeah, he's almost done with his first 3 years. 3 years as a manager, right?
yeah, with three
So
years as a manager in December.
yeah, so he'll figure out how to communicate better, I think,
Yeah,
and that comes with time. I can't imagine somebody 3 years in can talk to these guys and get them on his side the way he wants them to be, without just doesn't have the right words just yet. Mm. Yeah, this is.
apart from Granite now, who's left that was from the Wenger era, player wise? Holding. So Xhaka, Holding.
Trossard just scored.
Yeah.
So
Oh, there goes the bloody blue grenades.
now we're into the second half of this game, and
Good.
they're up 2 now.
Yeah.
And we're playing at home, right? I mean,
Yeah. This is the point of trying to make in the meeting before, a couple of days prior. They're at home, at the Emirates, full crowd, everyone's going to be behind you.
and Odegaard's shot from outside the box. I mean, that's why I get kind of concerned. I'm like, how can you take that shot? And this season, you've been even closer, and you won't take the shot, right?
That's the point,
I think that shot he just took in that Brighton game. How could he just take that one? And he took extra touches in the first game of the season with nobody around him.
Yeah, so
and he had a goalkeeper outside of his box, outside of the goal box. I'm like,
Yeah. Like I said in that game, obviously Palace, it was like watching nerds all over again from years ago, where instead of having the shot and getting that shot off, like you say, he wanted to make the pass. He wanted to be unselfish and pass it to someone else, even though he had no one else in a better position than him.
Yeah, and see, that's the thing right there. What you just said, you have to know who's got the best opportunity to score.
Yeah.
As a creator, and if you have the best, then you need to take it. They are not happy. These guys aren't happy at all.
Well, the other guys are sprawling to the floor.
Ted is walking in now. For those that need to know, we're just after the 19-minute mark.
Yeah, just after the Brighton game. Basically, it's just lost 2-1 to Brighton. Oh, dear. Edu's in the background, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah, he basically said, "I have nothing to. I can't think of what to say to you guys, so I'm gonna leave now."
I can't begin. That was on a Saturday as well, so you had to then after 2 defeats, back-to-back defeats there after the international break. Games coming quick and not just quick and fast, but very limited games amount left to recover. He doesn't want to stand there and demoralise him more. No, he's got to get them up again then later in the week before they play Southampton. So he was trying to just be diplomatic, and it backfired for an extra game.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where
they
needed to be closer, not further apart. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, let's get this thing.
Let's get it out in the open now. Straight after the game, get it out in the open now.
Yeah.
Then come back Monday into training. We start the new week as fresh. Kick on from there. Build for Southampton.
Because by giving them a day off, that just give them more time to stew, and not like get back into, well, you know what, we had another game that we got to win, and yeah, these guys have been have had days off before. It's to me, nah. I mean, I think they want the win more than they want the day off, but they might not say it. Another team meeting coming up here. So he said that he saved it all up just to basically tell them that you guys were an effing disaster. So he could have said that the day before, and they would have been like, "You're damn right, we were." So
Pete's going to say it's saying I was getting a bit angry over watching it all over again last night. But then I had a little prejudice or Jesus, however you pronounce it.
yeah, yeah.
BX, if you can pray to Jesus all season and we win every game, I'll love you.
Yeah, and see, this is what I mean. He's basically saying that everything you do has to be the best. So
Mm.
I'm wondering how they practice, though, because that's going to be the key to this. He's talking about it here, but who knows whether or not they practice that way, where everything was, had to be just right. Had to be just Got Tomiyasu dressed. I guess he would be dressed for practice, but. Um, And that's right now. He's just saying, just do the little things right. Do the basics right, and everything else will follow suit. And that's probably a lot of what we're struggling with in those games. Is just the little things, not the big things. Making little mistakes here and there. Next thing you know, boom, big mistake occurs. Yeah. See, I would have liked him to have that conversation the day of the game, because then he could come back and give them something a little bit nicer and a little bit pick me up. Let them stew on the fact that they just disappointed me twice in a row as a manager, right? So we're at 23 minutes here and getting ready to play our third game now. I think this is this is Southampton, right? So. And talking about Nketiah not being part of the game. And then Ben Drake puts that goal in. And if I recall, a couple of minutes before that, basically did something that pissed off the fans, which is always the way. 3 losses in a row, 1 goal. Yeah. It's talking about a fan or a podcast are talking about Nketiah just not being the right person for the job.
One more at that point. That's his first chance all season.
And that's, for me, that's the reason why, if Arteta kept saying he was the man for him and all of that, then he should have been playing like long before that. And that's why it doesn't, for me, it never mattered that we had only we didn't have European footballs, that all the players need to be ready to go, because you never know when you're going to need them. And guess what? We needed them, and they had never played. So how does that, it doesn't benefit anybody.
Yeah.
So. This is when Nketiah had This is when they had Nketiah did the interview, I think, with Dap Depot or whatever the name is.
Yeah, it said on the screen. But yeah, beautiful game. Yeah, the beautiful game podcast. Yeah.
It was a good. If you watched it, it was definitely interesting. It was really good interview. Because as much as we get disappointed with him, part of that is how he's being used, for sure. And I think the problem is he says it, which means he believes it as well. Right? Because he says he needs minutes. And guess what? He doesn't need minutes. Mentally, he just needs to be ready to play. Because think about it, and that's the difference between him and like Lacazette and El Neni. They could sit for the first 30 games of the season, and if they need to be called on, they're going to give you 2 or 3 games, and you're going to be okay with it, right?
Yeah.
And that's where Eddie needed to be mentally, that he can play no matter how many minutes he gets, and he's going to give 100%, because he's kind of making it easy to say, because I'm not getting my minutes, I can't play well, and that's part mental. I always say first you say it, then you do it. If he's saying it, then he's definitely thinking it, and he's looking like it when he gets out there. Millsroof Row showed that you don't need lots of minutes to go out there and make a difference. Right? You scored, 3 goals in 4 games coming off the bench? So, yeah. Yeah, the Chelsea match was a really good.
Yeah.
Good, as I say, a pleasant surprise. Definitely needed.
Yeah, I think that was. If we hadn't won that game, our season would have fallen apart a lot quicker than it did.
Yeah, because I think going into this, we were 6th as it is. So
yeah,
come out and do the things that we did after that makes you wonder where we would be if Chelsea was the team that most thought they would be, right? A lot of Kedia and Xhaka conversation and interviews.
Seen a lot more Xhaka in his last 2 episodes, like this episode and in the episode before. In the previous few episodes, the first few.
I mean, I would like to hope that this is all like chronologically, set. Set.
Yeah,
not like, like it's just like, yeah. Talking about Nketiah getting dropped by Chelsea at 13.
And, sort of how it spurred him on, basically.
That's why sitting on the bench should have done exactly the same thing. So when he comes on like a man, kind of, as they say, possessed almost.
Yeah.
Right, and you see some things that we see what he wants to see, and I think he wants to see better than he's been putting out. Yeah. So like here, like mentally, he knows he's going to play no matter what happens at this point because Lacazette has basically been put to the side.
Yeah.
And he's having a conversation now with Albert, video session, I guess. And the fact that he actually said not switch off as much,
yeah,
that is something you see from him, right? Like Jesus will come up, get the ball, and turn and attack the goal. And Kedia will come up, get the ball, turn, and kind of just jog back to the final third. And you're like, no, you got to go. You can't put pressure. And that's exactly what Albert's talking about. You're not set. Your feet aren't ready to go. You're set. You're kind of stuck in the mud. Supposed to be up on your toes, ready to go.
You're basically like a Zet, mate. Sort yourself out.
That's what Albert's saying. It's like it's cool to see. He doesn't look too happy about what they're saying, but you watch the games, you see it. He just does. He needs to continue to play until he gets the goal. Not sure he liked that conversation.
No, he's sort of body language, his eyes rolling in, just like, yeah, okay, cool. That sort of body language is like the vibe you got from that. Is like, okay, so you took that on, didn't you?
Yeah.
But as you say, he needs to fucking take it on because otherwise he's going to be come this time next year, be sold or loaned out to someone else.
Yeah. Well, now he's seeing from Jesus exactly what that means.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's
what that means to be happy. Yeah. And he's seen it every day, every game. I assume he sees it in practice as well. So it's not just something you do it's not something you do when you start. It's something you do all the time because, right, Jesus came on at halftime and did more in the halftime than Nketiah probably would have done in the first half, right?
Yeah, this is cool. I like this.
Yeah, so we're at 31 minutes here, and he got Saka. He had one of his fans wrote him a letter and gave him some of his
pocket money after the Euro.
That's right.
Yeah, and he's basically as a surprise, basically just after before the Chelsea game, they've all organised something where he's obviously get the stadium tour with his family and all that, but they don't know that obviously Saka's been drove in, especially to meet him, and now he's just up like one-on-one with the kid now, off to the pitch.
One day you're going to be in the pitch with me, Saka says to the kid. It takes a shot, and Nketiah is not a good goalkeeper.
But still, you'll be here with me. You'll be knocking me off your perch, don't worry.
Yeah. Why not has joined us? Did he give us the regular intro? I don't think so.
No.
Why not? I shouldn't even have said anything, but I'm going to say it anyways. But thank you for joining us. Yeah. Well, I don't think it's the answer. I think it's how he gets these teams to turn around and actually implement what he's talking about. I think that's kind of the thing, because if you're listening to him, this is the things you want to hear, right? But the team isn't responding to it, and so that's why he's got to figure out a way to get the team to figure out. But I don't think you can just learn that unless you've actually been in that situation. That's the problem.
Speaking of knowledge, you always play, and I refer to episode 4, 5, and 6 after the City game. Smith Rowe's comments of suspension straight back into the team. You mean Gabriel?
No, that would have been Xhaka, right? Because when the Xhaka came back,
was suspended at one point.
And Saka's like he's back in. Is it Saka or is it Milner saying you're back in the squad, right? So,
oh yeah, I remember. Yeah.
It's kind of like
well, that's because we're not. That's the thing. Because in terms of our transfer business, look, apart from Partey being brought in the last couple of years, and there was a Sambi to be the next type of he's back up basically, whatever. Or we haven't really brought anyone in as a natural midfielder to replace Granit, or be a backup initially to replace him, to integrate that system. So Tom Granit does go, it's seamless. We ain't going to struggle.
Yeah.
And so until that happens, until he's got competition in his position, respectively, that is going to be the case. That's down to Arteta and the club to sort of fix that.
Yeah, Arteta and his suffering. Talking about
Eddie, after the meeting with Albert, should have asked. Should ask how if he didn't understand. Yeah, no, but he wasn't that. It was just like he's at the end of it. He's asked, "I think okay." He just went, "Yeah," like rolled his eyes up in the air, and it's whole body language.
And that is a young player versus professional. That's kind of the difference. Is professional might actually ask those questions, especially if they're upset about what's being said to them. And this is the play from Nketiah, where I think Alonso makes a really poor pass, and then Nketiah runs it down and scores. Hello. That's there. Why not? And then why not does give us the Arteta out. Good job. Everything's normal. Everything's back to normal. Nketiah scores. And you know what? This game kind of epitomizes not epitomizes, but shows the difference between where we are then and where we are now, right?
Yeah.
We scored, and Nketiah scores, and then they come back and score right. I mean, we got Werner to actually score on us. The man can't hit anything, but he scored on us right after we scored. And then you've got Milner for a nice shot to the far corner. Goalkeeper is just standing flat-footed, and then
Dave scored.
Azpilicueta then scores just to answer it back up. Like 10 minutes later. So back and forth, which is that this is probably, you'll think about it. If you're thinking we're playing Chelsea, well, they're not going to fall over and roll up, right? Just because you took a lead on them. That's what you expected.
Well, especially in the situation I was in as well at the time, with all the ownership situation with Roman and the Russian side of things and all that. not having all their fans in, you're expecting something. Especially again, it's on Sky as well in the UK. It's broadcast around the world, so you was always expecting something of a reaction.
He wants a little bit more from the players. There we go. Second half starts.
A little bit more, but more defending.
And Kedia gets the ball gets. Eddie scores.
If why not? Out of interest, if you're still watching, you're in the chat. Out of interest, what would Arteta have to do? What would be for you realistically a good enough season for you to give Arteta more of a chance going forward? Just out of interest.
Yeah, and then this response from Nketiah drawing the foul and then saying I'm taking the penalty.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
kind of those are the types of things we wanted in the 3 games.
Yeah.
Something like that, where you know what, I know we practice this way, but in the moment, no, I need to do this.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm going to set the game by the scruff of the neck and get us back into this, basically, or get us over that line.
Yeah. Yeah. So 4-2 Arsenal win on the road at the Bridge. Fans see Pepe coming in, and it's like, man, he should be pissed off he's not getting to play.
Yeah.
You know?
But see, Tottenham fans, anyone Tottenham fans out there, we celebrate, but we celebrate a win at Stamford Bridge. You celebrate a draw, apparently. That's your standard. Celebrate the fucking draw.
Yeah.
What do you hear what Mark Dean said today? Because he was in charge of VR.
I saw that. It's just like, it
took you 4 days.
I don't care. I don't care the fact that you got it wrong and now you're going to commit. I'm like, why did you decide not to make that call down? What was that decision? Because that's the problem. Because if that's your, there's a thought process that goes into why you thought that it was not necessary to take a look at this. Right? I mean, I don't even understand. Like, and then people were saying there's no rule for pulling your hair. What?
There's pulling your hair and there's literally grabbing your head and throwing you to the ground like a rag doll.
Right? I mean, we've had players take a foot to the face twice. Nothing's been called. And I know a foot to the face is at least a yellow. This is called dangerous play, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, a few days ago I mentioned this. I think on the group chat we were in. That Robert Hoof, this was like the year before VAR came in. Robert Hoof, in a game for Leicester v Man United, literally flayed his hair, grabbed hold of it, and did the exact same thing. Obviously, wasn't picked up in the game, but afterwards, in the aftermath, he got retrospectively banned for 3 games because of it. This week with this, well, VAR said there's nothing wrong with it, so we're not going to do nothing. Well, you can't use your eyes yourself and see that.
That's why, it's more of the common sense type things. Is that part of the game? Is that part? Is because you're supposed to hold up the rules for the game and the way the game should be played. That is not how the game should be played. If that's because that's part of your job as an official and a referee, is to make sure the game is played well. And the players don't do things that aren't considered football. That's not football, and it doesn't matter. What happened before that? Because I think that's what they were saying. They were saying that Cucurella was going after, was kind of needling the other player, and that was maybe one of the reasons why they didn't want to give it because there was a lot of, it's like that was retaliation, and it's like that's why either you stop it before the retaliation happens, which they don't do, or when the retaliation does happen, then you actually put a foot down and say no, that can't happen anymore. And the way you do that is it's got to be a yellow with that kind of activity.
No, exactly. It just seems like VAR is now a tool to protect bad refereeing decisions or mistakes that are made in a game.
Yeah.
They don't get flagged up. VAR is now used to protect more than actually do what it's meant to be what it's brought in to do, and cut out and help out the referees and officials. during
Sure.
and after the events.
Yeah, so we're 40 minutes in, 41 minutes in. You've got Milsroof Row, I believe, is in his car or getting driven, talking about him and Bukaya, talking
Yeah, going
about
for the academy at the same
playing for the
time.
first team and all of that. So kind of a cool conversation there.
Yeah. So basically what it means to them both and all that. How many times I've had to chat about that.
Yeah. So I think he's saying what fourth play, top four, Europa
Oh
League
yeah.
trophy and a cup final, or title challenge in the
Win Europa League,
Europe.
basically, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Taib's just joined us in the chat, but yeah, answer my question, he's gone fourth in the league, Europa League trophy and a cup final, or title challenge and win the Europa League. So basically, either way, win the Europa League is the answer there as well. But along with either title challenge or, worst case, fourth in a cup final, like FA Cup or League Cup.
Yeah, I mean it shows improvement, and
Yeah.
it can't be, well, we added the Europa League to it, so now you can take a dip on your table position. You got to, the only way this thing works is if you continue to improve and move up the table, or else what's the point, right? Getting into Europa League and finishing fifth doesn't show the progress that
No.
you need. So this right here is kind of an interesting thing. So you got a El Neni going in. I think this is his second game. He's fasting for the national holiday
Ramadan.
that
Yeah.
yeah, and you kind of like, so you haven't been playing all season. We finally need to depend on you, and you're not necessarily getting, your body's not getting the nourishment at the right times anymore. So not so you have to, like, for me, you have to go, all right, well, I'm not going to stop you from doing what you do, because that's that's how you live your life and stuff like that. But I do also have to, wonder, if can you give me 3 games in a row? And
Yeah.
without even fasting, I think him playing 3 games in a row, to me, is a risk.
Especially, like he's saying, he gets up like 4:45 in the morning, but it's not. He hadn't eaten at this point since like 11 o'clock the following the evening before. So as you say, he's not getting the right nourishment and things like that. But obviously, his faith and all that, so he's doing what he's obviously brought up to do.
Yeah.
But that's why they're doing the checks. Obviously, to make sure everything's okay, make sure there's nothing that could possibly cause a muscle injury or anything like that. Because they don't want to take that. Obviously, any player, they don't want to take that sort of risk. They want to make sure all their players are fit and healthy and ready to go. Especially, obviously, as you say, with Larson El Neni, he's fasting in the spring, going into summer. There was a decent heat at that time as well, so it would have been even more. It would have got more fatigue from that as well, drained, like physically and mentally drained from that as well during the day, especially match days. Because obviously in training, I'm assuming in training you can sort of go with the flow. So if you feel a bit, take 5 minutes, or whatever. Take it easy. Basically, you don't have to really go and then full on intense.
Yeah.
In the build up. But in the game itself, obviously, you're not going to get that sort of in the match day itself. You're not going to get that sort of freedom, no matter who you're playing. So it's good to see, as you say, that side of things, how they deal with that side of things as well.
And that's one of those things where I know, on multiple podcasts, the question was posed: why are we not seeing El Neni come in earlier in the season? One, because that may have helped with recoveries for some of our players where we don't have to push them. I mean, because for me, El Neni is basically that's our our answer to when Partey's out right now, because we don't have a true number 2 CDM right now that we can lean on in tough times. We still don't. Yeah. So here we go. The game is start. The United game is starting here.
Yep. I was at this game in the North Bank.
Okay.
You and Sam are covering it here.
You know, Sacco is brought down. Ronaldo tries to go up against White, and White says, "I'm sorry, yeah, White." And White says, "No." You got a little curler from Saka. I think that ball gets pushed out, and Tavage is there to put it away. And Arsenal is up.
I will say this though, because I was at the game. I was at the other end in block 4. When the goal got in, who scored? Is it Tavares? When we realised it was Nuno, we was like, the fuck? How the how you could fucking defend? That'd be fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Saka to Erdegaard into, and penalty called, and Shaka is like, I got this again. So, and puts it in the far corner. The hair goes the wrong way. 2-0. What a nice, Got Ronaldo. See now, showing Ronaldo, and that's the thing. At some point, Ronaldo and there it is. That's the play where you have both Tavage and Gabriel not on the same page with Ronaldo,
not
and
communicating, not as you said, on the same page at all. And then
Ronaldo beats.
Caught onto that.
Yeah.
No,
and I'd say for me, it's either Gabriel has to man mark Ronaldo, or he's got to get Tavage to play a little bit better. And this is Bruno get the handball, I think, from Tavage, I think it was. And you got Bruno going for trying to take the goalkeeper the wrong way, which he does, but he hits it just on the outside of the post. And everybody wonders, why isn't Ronaldo taking it?
Again, I'm there and I'm thinking, when I got the penalty, I was like, okay, Ronaldo's going to. Because especially, you've got to remember that time, Ronaldo just lost his son, his newborn son as well. So, even though he had scored in the game earlier, the penalties of Ronaldo, that's Ronaldo's forte. And he took one against us early in the season and scored. So you're thinking, yeah, he's taking it. And when I saw Bruno with the ball, I was like, oh, okay, we've got a chance here. And when he missed it, mate, the place just erupted.
Yeah, I just paused it here at 48 minutes because just before, just after that, or soon after that, Xhaka takes the ball from distance and puts it in the far corner. Goalkeeper De Gea doesn't see it until it's too late, and we're up 3-1. Yes. We are happy now. Well, I guess we're happy also because United top 4 chances are off, so it's just up to us. And
we actually killed it. Yeah, we killed our chances.
Yeah. Every time I see Pepe, I'm just like, I mean, once again, another waste of a player just sitting there.
Yeah.
And it's like, and we won't play him
much longer. Hopefully not much longer though, because obviously Nice are interested apparently. Yeah. Even that's the loan, they're still interested.
Yeah. Colonel has joined us. Welcome, talking about Nuno Tavares as a left or right midfielder. And that's the thing. So, a lot of these players come in at defensive positions, and they're not defensively aware. There's certain things you have to be aware, and Tavares is not like that. So the answer is to push him further up the pitch, but then is his attacking and finishing going to be the answer? Or is he really just a wing back, and that's where he's best suited, right?
And now we get ready for the finale.
Yeah. So we've got 4 games. And they just showed Holding, which is so... I see the fact that they're showing Holding is like, are you setting him up? You see him sitting in the locker room, and in that, Mm. Mm. Yeah. There's a lot of what we have to do to make all these changes, and the things that he always said are just the simple things, the basics. And yeah,
Yeah. Ty was asking, Ryan, realistically, when should Arsenal be fighting for the title this season or next season? It's been far too long since Arsenal won last. Yeah, I was fucking 14, just turned 15. What was I think now? No, it's maybe 15th, was it? So I was 5 days away from my 15th birthday, I think. Yeah, 15th birthday, I believe. So I was 14 when we last lifted the actual trophy, league title wise. Now, realistically, if we got top 4 last season, I'll be saying here and now we need at least make the challenge this season and then go for it properly next season. But I think maybe in terms of going for it, I still say go for it next season. But I'm saying our main objective is just get to top 4. If Liverpool don't get there at the backsides, United continuing this trajectory they're going down. Chelsea's the unknown. Tottenham, we'll see what happens there. Maybe even go for second. But at this moment in time, the season before the season started, I said league position wise for this season, I'll be happy. We'd be third. Well, obviously a cup final, another cup final, 2 cup finals, one of them to win, and try and win the Europa League as well. Get the European trophy drought off our back as well. Then I'll be happy with that. But yeah, in terms of winning, going for the title to win it, I say next season onwards is when we should realistically start demanding that from this team, from this manager as well. Because by then he would have had three full seasons, 3.5 years under his belt. No more excuses. He'd be going through his full season with his actual squad. Would have had 2 full seasons prior, this season and last season with that squad. Review distance here and there, obviously new faces coming in, but the bulk of it would have been around. So from next season onwards, that's what we got. We have to demand that of this team. No matter what happens this season, we have to demand it because of how long now they've had.
definitely. Definitely. Yeah, I mean, it's. I think it's one thing to stay in the Champions League, so that's why it's further out than I think most think, because getting in is one thing, maintaining it where like on your worst year, your worst season, you're still third, fourth at worst, right? Because that's kind of where Liverpool was, right?
Yeah,
They were always up there. Then that's when they went on their kind of their Champions League run. Then they ended with the league title, and then on a poor season because they lost one of the crucial players, they still got third, right?
Yeah.
And then now second again, and people think second one more time, and that's to maintain that level. You got to have a full squad, and we don't have that. And unless we add a lot more numbers, we're going to be in that same thing come January, looking at, well, what are our holes, right? So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to start this back up again. So we're right here, first minute in. The title of this thing is North London Forever. So
yeah. This is where it starts off, basically. The big announcement after the United game. Arteta.
They're talking about the contract.
Yeah.
Signing.
Harry Simu, you can actually hear him when he gets mentioned actually for like 10 seconds. It's a big up to him.
The fact that you're hearing him talk about Champions League, that's a good thing, and he's talking about that.
You have to believe that
stuff.
Yeah.
So it's not something it's not like the elephant in the room. I don't want to talk about it because I don't want to put pressure. Well, guess what? That pressure's there anyway, so you might as well just talk about it.
Also, he must have believed that he could that his team weren't going to mess up though for him to start talking about it like that. Yeah, we need. I mean, I would have liked, even though I know it's based. This is documentary based on the men's team, right? Considering the actual announcement was a joint announcement for him and Jonas, the women's manager, just to have Jonas in the back featured as well. Mention that, but not just having faith in the men's side of it, but also our women's manager. We did a joint thing here, something different, something unique for the future of this club. So I was a bit disappointed with that, but it is what it is.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, especially like you would think at some point, you might want to hear how some of the women's team actually,
Yeah,
work behind the scenes, because there's good women's teams out there doing, really good things with really good players and stuff like that.
yeah,
Nice to see how they handle things, especially, and it's an Arsenal, and their, women's team is, as far as positioning in the league is higher consistently.
Arsenal just signed a new Swedish forward as well today, the women's team.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that doesn't look good for Stina Blacksinius. Comes in, now she's got competition. Got Vivian
Well,
and
yeah, but that's kind of what we want. We keep saying we want that, and if
yeah,
they're going to bring that kind of, that means like, you know, when they're playing it, when they're playing in Europe, in the European leagues, like they lost points probably because they didn't have enough rotation,
enough strength and depth. Yeah,
right? And now they do. You know, I mean, it's one thing to say I'm going to take my leading scorer and push her back,
mm.
to more of a facilitator role, and not lose anything. You know, you lead the league in goals, but like, no, you're better off like contributing and creating for everyone. Huh? All right, right? It's like, okay, who does that, right? Yeah. Yes. Hey, you heard it here. Arteta said it. We won, but we were lucky. I know, and then when some of us fans say, you got the win, you should be happy. Well, you just heard from your manager that they got the win, but they're lucky to
Yeah.
get that
Well,
win.
to be honest, again, we watched that game. We all watched that game.
Yeah.
If you're there, if you were at the stadium or watching it at home, for the first 20 minutes, that 25 minutes, that second half, it was all United. We were just inviting the pressure and letting United just come at us,
Yeah.
which resulted in the penalty. Thankfully, they missed it and sort of gave a kick up the backside, though. Thankfully,
True. Yeah.
like you say, again, I like to see that from. I'm loving this. I like seeing that from Arteta, that he's honest about that and say, actually, yeah, we did win. Like you say, yeah, we did win.
Yeah.
But on another day, we don't win that.
And that's why I always say performance over result, because he'll take the win, but he's like, the
Mm.
performance just needs a lot more work. So you can critique, or you can analyze, whatever you want to call it, the game as if you lost. You can learn a lot when your performances aren't so good, but you get the result. And the trick is to fix it for the next one, right? So. And when you see Lacazette just took a swing at, I don't know, was that a academy player? I think it was.
Oh, this is where it all kicks off, isn't it? And
Yeah,
like it takes it too far, in my opinion.
yeah, and then he puts his hand on Cedric's
Cedric.
face.
So basically, for anyone that hasn't watched it yet, basically Lacazette, there's a training session. Lacazette's gone for a change in the kid. Cedric's kicked off in terms of having a go at Lacazette. Nothing like fisticuffs at this point. Just verbally having a go. Like, that's bang out of order. Lacazette's gone full on. You what? Squared up to him, grabbed him on the cheek with his jaw, and started giving it all that. And everyone has had to pile in and pull Lacazette away.
Yeah, and they just had him talking in the little room there, talking about, I think he actually said he went and said sorry to Cedric because he knew he was in the wrong there. Yeah, and that's weird, because it's like, why you always think of Lacazette as being a professional player and like being able to take. I assume it's either because he's not playing or something like that, because at this point he's basically done playing football for Arsenal if Arteta has his way. And they're just talking about White now being out for a game, so now it's Rob Holding in.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's
It's the Rob Holding part of the show. So yeah, I saw a question from me from Why Not. Yeah,
What's that?
yeah. Now Pepe is not gonna. Pepe, if you have an interview with Pepe, it'll just be silence for like a minute, and then you're like, what just happened?
Arteta has no. I'm assuming Arteta has no say name as what Amazon put out there.
Yeah, I'm talking about Holding being the happiest player in the team. Now we're playing
Seriously,
West Ham.
Stefan. Seriously. So I'm being quoted last week. I'm being forced to do a strictly fucking watch on because Tony Adams is doing it.
I'm not. You didn't get forced to do anything. You are a Mr. Arsenal podcast. I don't understand how you cannot do a show about Mr. Arsenal. I just don't. I mean, I keep saying it, and you keep going back to this. I was forced to do it. No. This is your show.
I just said it.
Show is. Look, you've got to look at that logo. Who is that man? The number 6 on his shirt. Who is that man? You forgot who he was? Is that why you don't think you need to do what is it called? What's it called now? I don't even know what it's called. Whistles? I forget what it's called. You know, if Mr. Arsenal is on EastEnders, you have to do a watch along. It's just you just don't have a choice. It's just part of the gig, man. Comes with the territory, as they say. Yeah.
Oh, dear.
So we got our pregame here before the West Ham game. So it's Arsenal who get this game
underway. Yeah, first game of this episode is the West Ham game at the London Stadium.
If you put some air on it, if Nketiah put some air on that ball, he scores.
Yeah.
This little dribbler. He's got nothing on it. And then you've got the header in there from Holding. It's Holding. Yes. It's the Holding segment of the show.
The Holding segment, yeah.
His first Premier League goal for Arsenal.
Yeah. Only took him 6 years.
Yeah. And you got Bowman making a really nice play in the box. He had too much space and time in the box, and you can't do that in the Premier League. And they score. I think they score right at the end of the half there.
At the end of the half, it was an injury time as well, like dead on the end, like you bastard.
I'm not sure Ramsdale. Is Ramsdale pissed? He should be. But he's not pissed.
He usually is.
Yeah. It's hard. If you listen to this, he first talked about losing the ball, and then the next thing he talked about was defensive intensity right afterwards, as opposed to let's hold on to the ball. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm being picky, but focus and heart. Just focus and heart. I think it's a lot of screaming and they don't hear him. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like he's making a lot of noise, but they don't hear him.
Oh, there we go. This is what I was about earlier, getting in the face of the players. He really got into Nuno's face, though.
He did. And that's the last person he needs to, because he's already, as far as I'm concerned, pissed that player off.
Yeah. You know
what I mean? Like,
not the
one of the leaders on the squad he should be screaming at. All right? I don't know who that is in this game. Think about this game. Who are you screaming at that you're going to be able to get them to lift up the rest of the squad? You know?
Yeah.
It's one of those things where, you know, and I always say you need that extension of Arteta, and you know he should be screaming at Xhaka, because Xhaka, as far as I'm concerned, is still the leader of this squad, no matter. And we just scored here. Gabriel, I think, scores off. I think there was a deflection through the box, and he's able to put it away. So, yeah. And that's it. Get the 2-1 win, and we're out of here.
Nice London derby win away from home. Put us back in the top 4. Next up, Leeds at home.
Team looks happy.
Yeah, I'm Martinelli. Got to say, yes, I think a few people mentioned it already. You look at him then to what he's. Look at Gabby now physically. He has got a bit bigger over the summer, hasn't he?
I know a lot of people have said they keep hearing him cursing, and it's like, what?
Yeah, he's like fucking.
Like I said, I just don't. He doesn't need to do that, man. Now he's screaming at Tavares again.
Yeah. It right in his face as well. But they're good. But this time it's the good sense. Like, well done. You actually did your job. Well done. When you face that for a good reason.
I just feel like it's like you're picking on the wrong guy, man. This is the guy you need to put your hand on his shoulder. You know, we talk about putting a hand on the shoulder of the player. He needs it on his shoulder because of what's happened prior to this. All right. He's screaming at Lacazette.
We're saying literally got three games to go now. We don't fucking lose. We get over we're getting over the line one way or the other. We don't lose this now. And what happened?
And that's the thing. It's like, what did
why the players not taking that on, basically?
Yeah,
why
exactly. Why are they they're kind of rolling over and dying when the time gets tough and the coach is on your side and ready to go. He looks ready to play, and the team comes out and they look flat. And you know what? Once again, so yeah, we're playing Leeds next, and you know how that game ends, and you're like, once again, right? We talk about how your performances kind of roll into the next one, right? This Holding has got this post game interview, and this is. I kind of feel like they did this on purpose. A lot of Holding talk.
Adam says he's not watched the last episode yet. I know, obviously, as Arsenal fans, we know what happens in terms of result-wise, but it's more, again, for me, it's more watching the behind-the-scenes side of things. Again, I think you enjoy the last couple of episodes in terms of what you see behind the scenes and all that.
Yeah.
Obviously, not the stuff that happens on the pitch, but that's
I care less about the games because I already know.
We know what happens. Yeah.
But how the team structure works and who are the characters and the comedians and the serious guys and how they interact with each other. It's always a good thing to see here.
Beat's guy says, "I'm born and raised in New York City. Swearing is caring."
I get that. You know me, I don't do that stuff, so it's like I don't. That's not kind of the way I was born and raised.
Mr. Trump says, actually, Ken, the last time we won the title was in '92, before the year before football was invented.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, you sort of went downhill from there on in, didn't you, mate?
Mm-hmm.
Oh dear. So the best player to mate, you strengthened your rival, Man United, and given your best player to him. But hey. Mr. Bungle says he needs choked on his rum with the comment of Marmite pants. I'll take it through a lot of games in the bin at half time, says why not Spurs in Mikel Arteta.
Well, based on the way he's communicating to the squad, I kind of feel like not so much. Like, for me, it looks like somebody who's still trying to figure this thing out, and that's why the reaction and the reaction from it isn't working. Right? Because I don't think this team is a team you're going to scream at. You're going to get something out of. You know what I mean?
Especially the youngsters, yeah.
Yeah, like I don't think you can scream at these. These aren't like older players who've heard it before and know better. These players don't know better. And I just, I think took Holding out. I think he was looking at an injury.
Hey, I wouldn't have sanctioned the sale Cantona, but I did it go back while I was at school.
He wasn't that good, anyways, right? Man couldn't even always had his collar up. I mean,
We've got a new person in the chat saying, I think Zinchenko wasn't the right player. We say that. The alternative for that, if we didn't get Zinchenko, was a midget that's playing for Man United at the moment. That's getting out jumped for everything.
I think Zinchenko's fine. It's not where I think where we're playing him is the issue.
Yeah,
we're having to play him on the left. We're having to play him as a left back. But in reality, I don't think like if we're going to go our strongest 11, he doesn't have to play. Like if everybody's healthy, I think he's better in the middle. Next to either Partey or Erdegaard, depending on how you decide to line this thing up.
Yeah, and I think with the situation with our depth in certain positions, in terms of having that player like Zinchenko you can rely on.
Yeah.
Even though Tierney is back, he's feeling like he doesn't have to rush him back straight away. He's easing him back in, and then once he's fully fit, fully up to speed and match fitness, obviously Tierney will be the first choice left back. Tomiyasu the same for the right back. Then you'll have Saliba and Gabriel. Ben might be on the bench, but in terms of Zinchenko, he'll be moved into the midfield, pivot.
And that would be good for to see him play there in September when everybody should hopefully be safe. Everybody would be healthy back then. They just were like 18 minutes in, I think, here, and they just were they had them listen to the new anthem.
I think this guy's
Arteta wanted to play in the next game.
I'm going by the last comment that about Martinelli. From this new guy, the Spurs fan, because he goes, Martinelli should be sent out on loan. Why?
Did he not see him last year? Put Trent on skates, and he wasn't even ready to play yet. He's only getting better every time he plays. So,
be honest, are you a Spurs fan? Is this person? Are you a Spurs fan? Just asking. Not taking
that doesn't even make any sense. Say something else controversial, because that one doesn't. We can't even comment on that because it makes no sense. The man scored. How many goals did he score? He scored 7 goals or something like that for us.
The guy just contradicted himself as well. He's talked about sending him out on loan. He goes, I could see Martinelli scoring some goals.
Oh, okay.
You want to send him out on loan?
Yeah.
Help me out there.
Maybe it's two conversations. Maybe it's two conversations going on.
Yeah. That's completely just caught me off guard. But Zinchenko, Zinchenko is a midfielder. For his country, nationally, he plays midfield, left midfield, between the two, central and left wing.
Yeah.
It's only at City where he did play predominantly left back.
Yeah.
Whatever the weather. This guy's got to be a Spurs fan. I'm sorry, he's got to be a Spurs fan. Please tell me. Be honest now in the chat.
It's almost like, do you block him because he's just not making any sense?
Like poking. What can I do to piss these Arsenal fans off to get them really reacted?
What is going on with that?
Of course, he's fucking needed.
Zinchenko isn't a left back. They didn't want to play him at left back. They had to.
Before he went to Man City, he was not a left back.
Yeah.
He was a left midfielder / central midfielder for his country. And his respective other clubs. He was brought in as that. Out of sheer mistake, because of injuries at the time when they brought him in, he was put in at left back, and he made a career at club level as a left back. Hence why we brought him, put him as left back, but when we got a fully fit squad, he'll be put into the midfield.
Yeah, and 10 minutes into the match, Leeds
just a prick.
Got a brace for Nketiah, and luckily we were able to get all 3 points there. Yeah. And if you're looking at it, we're like 4 points up. 4 points up. What? 3 games to go? Is that right?
Yeah,
4 points. 4 points
clear of them with
3 games.
One of them games was against them.
You win 2 out of
And
the
even
3.
after that,
You win
even after
the
that,
first one. You don't need to worry about the next 2.
yeah,
You win 2 of the next 3.
mm,
You're in.
you're in.
So, yeah. That's the painful part about this. Leeds let us win, Mr. Tom. What?
You did not let us win, mate. You got bullied in that game. This before you went there 10 men. Martinelli was all over your lot. Eddie, for crying out loud, scored a brace against you
10
at a
minutes.
time when he wasn't fully confident wise. Apart from the first goals, well, both goals are put. Yeah, anyway.
Yeah.
If we wanted to on that day, we could have put at least 4 to 5 goals past you if we'd been more clinical in that game. At least. But going back to this comment here, Wynot says, and Fabio Vibor Vieira is such a crucial player. I mentioned it earlier. Watched him last night for the under-21s. For 45 minutes he played. Looked fantastic. But again, it is under-21s. He's only 45 minutes, but he does look a quality player. We've got a right still there. And I can't wait. I genuinely can't wait to see him for
I
the
mean,
main team.
he can, the price tag and the performance and quality of the player. He's playing for Arsenal. You know, what I mean, he's gonna be part of the rotation, and when he's healthy, and if we see anything, he's only going to improve from what we saw in the last match. And he's going to have better players around him. It's all the better for it. What does he say? Look at your username. Who's he talking to?
Oh, he's talking to why not Spurs and Mikel. Clearly this is a friend of Mikel Arteta. Spurs, why not basically?
Oh,
The guy that's talking nonsense in the chat about Zinchenko's not needed. Martinelli go out on loan. There's something else you mentioned before. Like, are you losing your mind?
yeah. So now we're talking about the game's
All
about to
comes after
start
the
here.
big one now, yeah. But it all
So
fell
we're
apart.
24 minutes into the thing here, and they're showing Holding walking into the stadium. Fans booing.
Again, going by what was seen in the build up to this game after the Leeds game, something that wasn't managed really well, but by looks behind the scenes was players themselves were thinking too far ahead in terms of the win itself. They weren't thinking if buts or maybes. It's just, well, we have to win. We have to win. We have to win. They weren't thinking of anything else in this game. They let the, as I said, they let the occasion get to them clearly, and it's just completely backfired on us. I remember going into that game and saying, even on night itself, as long as we play it right, low block, sit back, let them have the ball, and get them on the counter, we'll win the game. That's the way to win the game. You want to win it, and they just went gun ho. Went no, we're going to go toe to toe with you.
And you would think you would see that from maybe the new players in the squad that don't know much about the North London Derby and what it means and how it usually goes, right? But we're talking once again, our senior players that have played in this match and know about the history and the rivalry, and that's the same sort of thing that we see from Gabriel sometimes. He goes and does a little bit extra that's not necessary, and it puts himself in a bad situation. And today's, as we see here, is Gabriel's partner today does that. And off we go. Game started here. I don't even remember this game as far as, did we have opportunities to score? Like good ones?
Yeah, put that 0-0 we did, yeah. When it was 0-0, we was if anything, that 0-0 we was on top until they got this penalty here. Which again, to me, it's not a penalty. Because Cedric's on was penalised.
I mean, doesn't he even get pushed by the the Spurs?
Holding nothing, no.
Yeah.
He jumps to the ball, he lands to Cedric's back and gets a penalty.
I don't even know what. Yeah, that call and everything just didn't make any sense to me. And then now you've got Holding just grabbing hold of Son, and you're
Yeah.
just like, why are you doing this? Why are you doing it? You're on a yellow now. And Holding kind of lost his head, and and then he puts his the show. He just dropped his shoulder. He knew what was
Yeah.
going to happen there.
At the wrong
It's
time.
just
And,
really silly. It's just really silly.
from an experienced player as well. Not like it's
Yeah.
Gabriel
And he
or
didn't even have to do that. He could have just gotten his way, made sure he run him over, and then.
yeah.
But like he dropped his shoulder. I don't know. I don't even think they may not have seen that, but he definitely asked for that yellow card. Should never been 1v1 with Son. He was just playing like that the whole
Yeah,
game.
the whole
Like
game.
that was the plan. The way he was playing was almost the plan to be 1-on-1 with
Yeah,
Son.
exactly. That's what I'm saying. I was watching it earlier. I was thinking, you're saying that then, but the entire game you was playing up to that point before you got sent off, that's all you was doing, 1-on-1 with Kane. At this point, at halftime, as we know, I wanted a reaction at second half. Even if we didn't go on to win, I wanted a reaction in terms of fight, something, just to show me something that you cared, that you didn't want to get humiliated, and we didn't get anything.
Yeah.
Again,
And we can't say it's because we had 10 men because we
no,
played 10 men against Liverpool.
exactly.
Unless you're telling me Liverpool and that team are on the same level, then yeah,
I can never say that. No, I can never say that.
So it's not, so right then and there, we even played City with 10 men better than we played in this match. And you can't tell
Yeah.
me that it's because we only had we had one less man on the pitch. I mean, it's not, we've shown we can do it. So, and even still,
we're 1 point ahead still at this point. All we've got to do from here on in was
two
win our last
matches
two games.
against teams that we've either beaten or we should beat.
Yeah. One of them at home, which we did win, and the other one is Newcastle. And even though it was away from home, we should have won that. And let's be honest, we had something to fight for. They had nothing to fight for at this point. By the time that game came around, Newcastle had nothing to fight for in terms of league position wise. They're safe. They're mid-table. Their season was done. We had something to fight for, but as we know, the game played out like we were mid-table and they were going for Champions League football. I think again the players that are still here from that last season, that experience they would have learned from, and I think this year we will go that step further. Now we will get into one way or the other. I'm not saying necessarily fourth itself, but I'm saying one way or the other we will finish in the top four this season. I think.
Yep, definitely experience counts.
And plus, when you're adding the likes of a Zinchenko, a Gabriel Jesus, in terms of winning mentality experience, that can only benefit us even more.
Yeah.
What's going to be key for us as Arsenal fans, as Arsenal, is this World Cup coming up. We need, for the players that are going to the World Cup for respective countries, we need them to come back injury-free, no problems whatsoever, no COVID, no nothing.
And you can't. You know what? That is the same thing I said last January. We cannot lean on the fact that we are going to get no injuries, no COVID, no cards.
Yeah.
You can't play that way because that is part of the game. So you have to have an answer for all of that stuff. And it isn't that we didn't have the answers; we chose not to use them.
Yeah.
Just because you go down apartheid doesn't mean you continue to play in a system that requires apartheid.
Yeah.
Makes no sense. Why would you do that?
Get ourselves to January after the World Cup, then a couple of games after the World Cup we play. Get ourselves to January, get a couple of additions in then, just to, as you say, help us out there because we're going to have injuries. We're going to lose Teen at some point. We've got Zinchenko. We don't know if anything can happen there.
But it doesn't. You see, that doesn't help you either.
No,
you still don't have rotation. You still don't have a squad depth. You still don't have.
We need
squad.
we need a backup. We do need a natural backup to Partey. So if he does need rest or he does get an injury, we can feel comfortable that whoever comes in place of him can do the same job as him. Same with Granit Xhaka. Same with Saka. If Saka goes out now, if Saka goes and gets himself taken out for a month. I know Fabio Vieira's only just come in, but Fabio Vieira's only just come back from injury as well. So
yeah, but he doesn't answer. He doesn't answer those. He doesn't answer the questions though. He doesn't answer the question. Vieira doesn't answer the question, and Emil Smith Rowe to me doesn't really answer the question because the question is.
What I'm saying is,
but it's the central. It's the spine. We don't have the support in the spine, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
I say we need to get a couple more. Hopefully, we get a couple more additions to the spine this window before the window closes on the 1st of September. In terms of and then after that window closes on the 1st of September to January 1st, just fingers crossed that we don't get major injury crisis at our club because of the World Cup.
Yeah.
And just get our players back, players that go to the World Cup, get them back, injury free, hopefully COVID free, and all that. Touch wood.
Yeah.
And get West Ham and who was it? West Ham and can't remember the game before New Year. Get them 2 games out of the way, and then have someone lined up as a window opens to come in whatever position we need to start, sort of get our depth in.
No, definitely. You see some of the fans really confident about getting a win at Newcastle. And that's the thing, right? I always hear, because I don't have as much history as you guys, but I always hear this is a tough pace to play. But which one is it? Is it a tough pace to play, or are we a top 4 team? At some point, you know what I mean? At some point, it can't be a tough place to play anymore because the only way you can be top 4 is if you're winning or coming out of those stadiums with a point, on a bad day. And that's where we mentally need to be as a squad, right? Yeah. It doesn't matter where we play. We're coming out. We're getting points, all right? We're going to get a point. If we fail, we're going to get a point. If we play well, we're going to get all the points. And like Bournemouth supposedly is a tough place to play. And it's like man, it can't be. Like it can't be. It can't be. It can't. No. You know what I mean? Like as a fan, I can't take that because that just means that's kind of the levels that we're talking about. And it's like no, and our level is higher up on the table. And
in terms of Bournemouth for Saturday, I've been saying all week. I'm fully expecting myself a comfortable, even though we're away from home, it's Bournemouth. They're just newly promoted and all that. I'm fully expecting it. Nothing more, nothing less than a 5-0 win. 5-0 win will do me for that game because, as you say, we need to. These are sort of games we need to put the backmans in, get the points on the board, and just do our job.
Yeah, get some new people that showed up in the in the show. I see Del Boy Gunner TV's in the house. Hello, Del.
Oh, Del Boy, one set. I'll find the one set.
Devin Lindsay's in there. They're figuring out where that other fan must be from. Yeah,
Del Boy's in the chat. There's Del. Big up Del Boy. I didn't see you coming forward. Apologise.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if you saw the post there. Mr. Tom was talking. I created like a little small 12-minute video on where I think Arsenal will finish the season. Quick little listen or video to look at.
Yeah.
So
if you haven't already, go and check out Gary's channel as well.
Yeah.
Just subscribe and all that. Smash the like button and just share his content around. does do live podcasts, weekly podcasts as well.
Yeah. Thank you for that.
No problem.
It's weird looking at some of these locker rooms going, man,
That's
do
a
they
lot,
really, their visitors, the visitor locker rooms are really like, they spared zero expense. They just took a room, threw in some benches, and said, "There you go, have fun.
Yeah.
We'll see you later." which is actually how it's supposed to be.
Paint, that's all.
You know, when you get in there, you're supposed to be like, you should be pissed because that's how they treated you, right? Yeah, I would like to hear the whole conversation because we only get bits and pieces. So, got Xhaka screaming at everyone, and that's just where you're like, this is Erdegaard is the captain at this point, right? And Xhaka is the only voice you hear, throughout this thing. And I mean, that's why I say he's definitely the captain, de facto captain, no matter what armband he does or doesn't have on his arm. And you know, we need that.
But when he has the armband on, he doesn't do it.
And you know what? And Erdegaard needs to. And this is I think this is the own goal here.
It's the OV
on White. Yeah.
This is the thing. What could I do? I will be honest. I did watch this earlier, as you know. And what annoyed me about this particular the aftermath of this was, as we know, Granit Xhaka was quick enough to come out on national TV and worldwide TV, slagging up, not naming the players, but basically putting shade on certain players, like really digging them out, going in for it. But
this is where, that's where I need him to make a play that gets his squad on his back. Yeah. You know what I mean? This is where you need. That's what you need from your leadership. Is at these points in the games when you know you're screaming and talking, but at some point you're going to show me something on the pitch that actually gets everybody else on your side to fight with you. You know, because we're in a battle here. And nobody does that for us right now.
Yeah, it's all well and good of him being in at half time. Like, come on, we've got to do this, we've got to do that. But he doesn't do, as you say, doesn't do enough on the pitch sometimes, like in this instance as well, this particular game. And then straight away before he's on the change room, he's quick enough. He's literally on the national TV going, certain players weren't good enough. They didn't have the right mentality. But now he's back in the change room, throwing a bottle of orange juice on the floor and just sitting there moping. He's not calling them out. Whoever he has a grudge with in this game, he's not going, right, you fucked up. This is what you should have done. And for me, you get more respect from that, from not just from the fans as we watch it now, but from the players itself. And then saying that, Arteta's telling them all shut up.
See, that's why I wanted that conversation when we lost the other match where he said, I don't want to talk to you until Monday. And it's like, no. They need to hear how you feel today. Tomorrow you love him again. Right now you don't like him. You don't like him at all.
If he'd done this, as you say, I don't want to hear a word. I'm talking now after the Brighton game.
Yeah.
I think we'd have got a better reaction at Southampton. We would not have been in this situation we were after Newcastle.
Yeah. No, for sure. The team actually needed to hear something. They need to hear the hard truth. They need to hear something. And he hit under the pressure as well. Based on that, as far as I'm concerned, I would have liked to hear him say exactly what he was thinking at that time because I think the players needed to hear it too.
Yeah,
you know, you can't lose those 3 games in a row and then lose 2 games in a row, knowing the third one is just you can get a win out of that one. And then we're going to talk about it on Monday. So you get a day off to just sit around and do whatever. No. If you're playing Champions League and there was a Champions League game in the midweek, you're not taking a day off when you have a Premier League game coming up the next week, right? No, you gotta stay in mentally. You gotta stay in that same space, same headspace kind of thing.
Yeah,
and like I said, this is a learning exercise for him,
as well as the players as well. Yeah,
and he's got to look back at this and go, did I did I mess up during that that 4 or 5 game stretch there? And where did I lose my team? Because he lost his team, right? He lost his team in those basically in those 6 games. Is it 6 or 7 games? Basically, he lost them. Right? We got 3 points lost in like 5 out of 7 games, I think it was, or 7, 8 games. So yeah, not good.
Mr. Bungle is saying Tayyip's saying, okay. I don't know if that's been done or not, but didn't know that. Message me later and inform me. Just let me know what's gone on there. In fact, if you're still messing about, I don't know. You've not been addressed afterwards, so I don't know what's going on there. Devon's in the chat as well.
Yeah, and I think earlier in these episodes that we saw, there was a part where mentally, at least the leadership was at the point where we're okay if we don't finish top 4. Essentially, was the thought that I got, what I kind of analyzed them saying. It's like, not when you have an opportunity to get 3rd, right? Not getting top 4, I get it, but you had an opportunity to get top 3
as well, yeah.
Right. So if you failed and got top 4, I'll take it. But but we didn't do that either. So
breaking Sky Sports notification I've got on my phone. Man United close to agreeing £59.2 million deal to sign Real Madrid midfielder Casemiro.
I heard he's getting paid like Messi numbers.
Like he's going to solve their problems though. And Ajax rejects £67.6 million bid for Anthony.
And how old isn't that guy really old, or am I thinking he's
Casemiro, he's not 30. He's older than me, I think. I'm 33, so he's about 34, 30. He's got to be 34.
No, he's 30. He's 30 years old. 30 years
but still,
old.
That's not good. That's not a good age to come to Premier League and make it.
Not for that amount of money, because that's even worse than what we did for Aubameyang, right? I mean, we just renewed him. We didn't even spend all that money on him. We renewed him. That was looked at as bad business. So spending what 50 mil on a player who's already 30, right? He'll be at the start. Midway through the season, he'll be turning 31. So, yeah. Now, these 2 episodes were good. At least, like I said, for the parts away from the football, where you got to see how the team, what the team dynamic was behind the scenes. I think it's really good to see that. I know there's a lot more we didn't see. That's the part, and that's the part that hit the cut room floor. But I would like to have seen that. But you're not going to get everything, so you got to take what they've given us, and some of it made them look good, some of it made them look bad. So that part is that I'll take that. And now we're just starting the Everton game here, where we have to depend on Norwich.
Yeah.
to get a win. And you can't be doing that. And we just got a penalty for Martinelli. You've got Nketiah with a header. So nothing to play for, right? So come out and play a little bit more relaxed. Yeah, that's a lot of money. United. I mean, you look at it and you're like, United has all that money, and you're telling me they couldn't get any of their targets, any of their their number 1 target was not Lisandro Martinez. You know what I mean? Like, no.
Because again, I don't mean this isn't disrespectful to Casemiro at all. But if he was a target at all, they wouldn't be waiting until now to make a bid for him. That's the sort of player you want to get in pre-season and get him settled in.
Yeah.
It just screams panic buys. Literally, all a piece of fans just throwing the money at the problem. And again, Casemiro does not scream a Ten Hag player.
Yeah. I mean, the man just won what 4 trophies, probably, or at least 3 trophies. Champions League being one of them.
Yeah.
And I did he start for them? I don't even remember now.
I can't remember now.
Let's see. Let's take a look
I think
here.
he did actually.
Because I remember seeing. Let's see here. I'll take that. There we go.
Well, there's Josh. I haven't seen since episode 1, Josh, but okay.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah. So he started 31 of 32 matches that he played in. Yeah. Yeah. You know what? Is he going to start for them?
Well, if you think spending that sort of money on a player like that ilk of that quality, you think he would, but you never know with coming in third.
Yeah. Well, if you're telling me McTominay is competing for a position with him, then I don't even think there's much discussion there. You know what I mean? Like there's nothing McTominay does that I go, all right, I can't see any way you can get him. You can push that man to the bench. Nah. I mean, he played for one of the best teams in the league in the world last year. I think he can get a start.
Yeah,
and like you said, Devon, right there, he probably starts right away. And Ten Hag hopefully has an answer for him if that's what they want to do. But it's expensive proposition they're doing there, right? So, yeah. You spend that much money, that player starts right away, right? We spent 17 on Tomiyasu, and he started as soon as he was ready to go. There's levels to this thing. So,
Mr. Bungle in the chat. If you can message me on Twitter, if I'm sure you still got Twitter, message me on Twitter. Try and sort whatever's gone off. Try and sort it out. I need to know. Show me what's gone off, and we'll try and sort it out. But off air, don't air it in the chat because it's a bit messy otherwise. Yeah, just message me privately, and I'll try and sort it out for you. There we go. That's it.
Yeah, and we are done. Like I said, it's the football part. We don't need to see it, but it's good to have context as to where they are in the season.
Yeah.
All the other stuff just gives you a background. I don't think Arteta is man enough to show everything. I think what we saw in when that team did this thing is, I don't think. It depends on where you are in your career, how much information you want out there, right?
No, exactly. And again, I said this before we started watching the first episode a couple of weeks back. The build up before they aired it. I was looking forward to it just because I wanted to see, as you said, the context behind what was going on on the pitch, basically. What was being said at halftime in certain games, the aftermath of a defeat, what was being said, what was being done. What players showed they cared, what players lead by example, and all that sort of stuff. And along with obviously the Bamian, we want to first and foremost, as well, along with all that, we wanted to know what actually did go down with the Arteta situation and the Bamian in terms of that, how that first fell apart the way it did. Turns out there was multiple incidents, not just the two that were in public, the two that were in public knowledge at the time in terms of the North London Derby the miss of the North London Derby year before, and the last one we knew about. There's a dossier and files are talked about of how many, of what Arteta has or had on Aubameyang. So it's not just. It wasn't just one or two incidences. It was multiple times. As I say, a fucking file. When a manager has a file on his club captain of ill discipline, that's not good for anyone. Let's be honest in that situation, player-wise. And for me, he done the right thing in that side of things. I wanted to see that and how that was handled. It again, editing and all that, but still, at the end of the day, when it was all going off initially before he lost the armband, Aubameyang even says in the car to some random guy in the car park, they've asked me to go upstairs and have a chat with him and try and sort this out again. And he was asked, "What are you going to do that?" Then he went and drove off. So I'm full of all that, and seeing how Aubameyang just literally body language was give up mode for the rest of that 6 weeks he was at the club, and to do what he did on that deadline day when he was meant to be at the club in training, didn't even tell no one. Oh, by the way, I'm going to pop over to Barcelona, just for family reasons. Piss off, no family in Barcelona.
Well, supposedly there is family there, but the whole point of it. But I thought the whole part of it was, or whatever the justification was, it was like, no, this is not fairy tale land. It's not Disneyland, right?
Yeah, the justification was his dad's in Spain, he's got a family here, and Eddie just went, "Oh, okay, yeah, and we're in Disneyland World."
It's a really good deal for you, and it's like, what is the good deal for Arsenal? At that point, getting rid of Aubameyang might be partly good, but that's not a good deal for Arsenal. That's not, and the fact that he's now still available for money is just a big slap in the face to Arsenal. And they have to double and triple and quadruple track the players that they bring in. That's all that means.
Yeah. No, Rich, he's a Man United fan, just popped in. He's saying, because we mentioned about Casemiro, he's saying that we'd have done, in terms of Aubameyang, if Aubameyang was at Man United, I'm assuming that's what he means, we'd have doubled his salary and given him a 5-year deal, basically, if it had been there in that situation, because obviously the fast that was running off there. But, yeah. But again, I think that sort of just what we saw justified why Arteta had to deal with it there and then, and not he couldn't afford to drag it out for the rest of the season and hope it just turns around and everything clicks into place.
Yep.
Because I had this conversation with someone else on Twitter this afternoon, because obviously Uber's been at Chelsea. And this guy's gone off on one, basically. Oh, it's Arteta, literally Arteta out because Uber could be going from Barcelona to Chelsea. And I went, are you taking the fucking piss, basically? Oh, well, he should have given Uber another chance. Da, 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 da. I said, if you haven't watched the documentary yet, go and watch it. Episodes 4 and 5. It explains everything. This is what happens. There's a fucking dossier on the guy. Files galore. It wasn't a one-off or a second time he's done it. It's multiple times. What else do you want Arteta to do? He did the right thing for the club, for his players, for everyone around. It's not his fault. He can't control what Barcelona then decide to do 6 months later.
Yep.
And even if he does go to Chelsea, there's no guarantee he's going to pop into Chelsea at the age of 33, by the way, or whatever, however old he is now, and hit the ground running like he did back when he joined us in 2017.
Yeah,
there's every chance Chelsea will get the same Uber we had when he left.
Yeah, and we've seen what Chelsea does to strikers. Yeah. So, is it going to change all of a sudden? Is it going to change? Because we how many players come in with like 20, 30 goals a season, numbers, and then disappear, and then go back the next year. So this isn't a trend that stopped and it's like, oh, it's just a blip. No. How many players have come and gone from Chelsea, right? Werner is gone. Lukaku's gone. Yeah. I'm talking about these top players that spent a lot of money on. You're bringing in a Aubameyang who already is. It's not even a case of performance. It's on top of that. It's whether he's mentally going to give you what you need. Is he going to be that football player you want on the pitch? I don't think so, based on what we've seen so far. So
I like this comment. BX saying about Jesus. He is, and he has been a breath of fresh air. He's completely everything we missed from last year.
Yeah.
And I'm looking for again with all the signs we've made so far this summer. We could potentially make a couple more. I honestly think we could have a really, really good season. Win a trophy, get in that top 4, either 4th, 3rd, or possibly at best case 2nd if Liverpool have a complete nightmare this season. I doubt they will, but you never know. But third cup win, domestic cup wise, win one of the domestic cups, get to the Europa League final, hopefully win that in terms of breaking that duck as well in terms of a European drought. And yeah, I'm excited again. I'm actually, again, for the first time, I said it's been pre-season, for the first time in years, I don't know about yourself, but for the first time in years, as an Arsenal fan, I've actually looked forward to this season. I'm actually excited going into every game we play now. I have confidence in my team to go and get a result, performance, whatever, because I can see progress in what the club are trying to do, what Arteta's trying to do. We're going in that right for once. We're going in the right direction, and I'm not going to sit here and go, fuck it, get out of my club, when things I can clearly see there are things going in the right direction. The thing is now, because of what we before this documentary came out, because of what we saw last season with the drippings of tasters we got of what we could do, the pressure's now on Arteta with these additions he's got now to keep going. Rich is asking to join. Have you got another 5 minutes you can keep with us, Gary? Whilst Richard comes in and gives his opinion.
Yeah, I could do 5 minutes. Yeah.
I'll give Richard a quick link over. Richard wants to give because he's a Man United fan. He wants to give his opinion as a United fan, as a neutral on this. Just talk about it in the chat 1 sec. Oh dear. So in terms of the weekend, are you around on Saturday? By the way, it's a 5:30 kick-off our time.
Yeah. I'm around. Actually, you know what? It's gonna. I might have my show at 12, so I'm gonna probably do my show because I'm gonna be away next Saturday. So I'm probably gonna do my show anyways. I know it's the same time as the game, so I'm probably gonna just do my show like I always do. And because I'm away next week, I'm away for I'm not gonna be able to do a couple of shows next week, so probably not even the game itself because I don't think I don't know where I'll be if I have access and stuff like that. So I'm hopefully I can watch the game. But my podcasting for about 4 or 5 days will be nothing. So be traveling. So yeah. So I'm probably going to do my show my usual time, which is right around the game time. Because I think So I'll be competing with you, I guess, but but that's just the way it goes sometimes. So yeah. But usually I would probably push my show out maybe, but like I said, I'm not going to be doing a show on the next Saturday for sure. So
yeah, that's no problem. Yeah, he needs to sort things out because I'm at the game next Saturday, so he needs to sort things out for.
Oh yeah, no, I'm going to be out of the. I'm going to be
that's right.
at home.
I might have to chat with Andrew or someone basically just to take over for today. There we go. Let's see, just setting up now. So bring him in. Is Rich? He's a Man United fan.
How you doing?
Hello.
Yeah.
Hi, don't worry, mate. How you doing as well? Okay. Good to speak to you. It's been quite a while.
Seeing you. Yeah.
I was going to say actually, I don't know if I was, but I may have been like a bit in the conversation we were talking about because I know the guy. I don't want to mention his name and I think some people have made their they've made their mind up about Arteta a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and they're not going to change their opinion whatever happens. I would say when I was writing in the comments, there was a bit of a joke, but in reality, that's the way Manchester United have approached players. They're almost worried that they'll leave, so they throw crazy money at them, long contracts, and we end up with a group of players which they want to leave sometimes. We can't sell them because we pay them too much. And I think Arteta 100% got it right. Like you were saying in the comments, there's a dossier, a folder, a file. The fact he's able to compile that on a player, and it made me think of the difference we see at Manchester United now compared with Alex Ferguson. If a player stepped out of line, that player disappeared. The way Arteta handled it, it was quick. You could say it's ruthless. And it was a player that you'd look at as being a key player not that long before. So the fact that he's realised that, like Ferguson, when he took over at Manchester United all those years ago, he got rid of players that were good players but they weren't going to fit Manchester United how he wanted the team to be, how he wanted the players to behave professionally. So we got rid of McGrath, Whiteside, because they liked drinking and it wasn't fitting in with the culture. You fast forward 20, 30 years, the issues are the same. A player is going to be disruptive to the dressing room. Aubameyang wasn't performing, but he didn't look at it and think, oh, maybe we'll give him a 4-year deal. Maybe he just went, no, move him on. He's done too much damage. Just get rid of him. A bit like, no, I'd have preferred we kept maybe like Jaap Stam or Van Nistelrooy longer, but Fergie decided, no, for the good of the team, those players moved on. We built an even better team. And you can look at Arsenal now that this season, the players you brought in make your team better. There seems to be better quality of football we're seeing. I think that you can see there's confidence in the owners with what Arteta's doing. You can see the players. I was watching I watched highlights of all the teams, and after watching Manchester United, it's a breath of fresh air to see a team playing for each other, playing decent football, little flicks, like a lot of confidence. And Manchester United is like the opposite of that. I don't even who cares if Aubameyang goes to Chelsea? Arsenal fans don't care, do they? He's not an Arsenal player anymore.
We know there's someone that does care, but there's a few people that
yeah. Well, I mean, they care for the wrong reasons, like you said. Is he helping your squad? No. So then, what difference does it make where he goes? Exactly. And is he going to do the same thing again? He probably is. So, and you didn't like it when he was here. So, bye-bye. I
know it's a disruption, isn't it? It's hindering the process of the team. It's an influence you don't want in the dressing room. Arteta, 100%. When he did that, that's a sign of what you want to see. Manager being like, you're not fitting in, you're disruptive, off you go. I mean, he wasn't exactly doing it on the pitch either at the time. So it's the fact they've actually offloaded him. The worst case scenario is a player that sticks around for 1 or 2 years and just becomes a problem. And the fact it was handled as it was. I know Arsenal fans are divided like what Manchester United fans are as well. But just from an outside point of view, I think Arsenal have turned the corner. I wouldn't say they're there yet, but they're on the right track. Manchester United, we're still going down, I think. I don't know quite how far we're going, but we're getting dominated by mid-table teams at the moment.
You've got Liverpool next.
I think it's going to take Ten Hag however long it's going to take him. But it's going to be quicker than if it was somebody else, I think, because his football is going to be right. The football is going to be right eventually. Once either the players, either he gets the players that he wants, or the players decide, what, we're going to have to just listen to the man and go 100% for him, and then go from. That's what he needs. I think that's all he really needed. And once again, who's the captain at United? Who's going to be on Ten Hag's? Is sitting there with Ten Hag basically being the extension of him on the pitch. I don't know if they have that player right now, or if he's sitting on the bench, or if they're going to bring him in. Because that's what he needs. He needs that lead, that player that's going to lead you guys. Sorry, I'm giving you instructions on how to get better.
Do you know what I was saying? Before the season started, you got to ignore Twitter, because Twitter is just people getting angry about everything and just want people to see their anger. But realistically, Manchester United fans I talked to on my channel that have a long-term view. We said 3 transfer windows, because you've got to get 10. The season so far has basically shown that the players are not capable of doing what Ten Hag wants at the moment. Definitely, can they do it in the future? It looks unlikely that some of them will be able to, but he's got to try and do the best he can with what he's got. So it's highlighted that the squad we've just basically gone from a fantastic team a long time ago to gradually weakening the team now, where it's got to the point where Ten Hag wants to play a different way. The players aren't good enough across the pitch. There's every single position could do with an upgrade, but it's going to take ages. It's going to take a few windows at least, and the players are obviously not happy because they pretty much know the writings on the wall for them. Some of them have got amazing contracts. They know the next deal they get is going to be worse. They're going to be shipped out. And so for them, I can see why it's difficult, isn't it? Because you've got a player that you can see it on the pitch. There's no confidence in each other, and until a lot of these people are moved on and replaced with other players, that maybe we'll do like Arsenal. Maybe we'll finish like 7th, 8th, 10th for a couple of seasons, but it'll probably be worth it in the long run because this sort of thing needed to happen, and these players need to be moved on. I mean, if you look at some fans, they'll probably look at Jesse Lingard having a good game at Forest and go, "Oh, why don't we keep him?" Or look at someone else go, and it doesn't matter. These players weren't doing it when they were at our team, so why would you keep them? If you're in the squad and you're playing pathetic for us for 2 or 3 years, and then they leave and do okay in a different team, what you can do, like offer more money to get them back. It's just, I don't know. I don't know what to say. Tom as a Leeds, if we're getting sympathy from Leeds fans, that tells you everything, doesn't
it? Well, I mean, the Brentford game is it's just oh man. I mean, everybody else in the world's laughing at you, of course, and because you were laughing at them, at some point.
I know. I was gonna say there's fair play. I've done like, I mean, you joined my channel like a year ago, didn't you, to do a preview for an Arsenal game?
Yeah.
And I've done so many recently. Where I did one last week. I'm talking to a Brentford fan, and everyone in the comments is like, "Oh, we'll be happy with a draw." And this Brentford fan's like going, "What are you guys talking about? I mean, you're heavy favourites, aren't you?" And I was like, "Do you watch us play?" and it happened like the end of last season. It happened with I'm trying to think who we played. A lot of different teams, and we did like a preview. We're quite negative. They're like, well, you should be really confident you're Manchester United. And after the game, when they've beaten us 3 or 4-0, this is like Watford or any other team we played, they're like, wow, you guys are awful. They go, I know, we're watching it. We're watching it.
Week in, week out.
I mean, like you said, it's going to take time, and the fans that aren't patient are just going to be upset until they see the change, and it's not going to happen fast.
It's slow, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think it's because Arsenal fans and Manchester United fans, we look back on times where we were the best teams in the league, and then you kind of have this expectation that you can get back there. The difference is now Manchester City with the money they had, Chelsea with the money, Newcastle now, and Tottenham investing. It's difficult to get back up to that level because you suddenly got to overtake 4 or 5 teams, and the players. We're trying to sell the dream of like come to United. They're looking at it thinking, oh well, I think I might go to City because we'll win a few things. And as soon as you go to Manchester United, you just got to basically get used to making excuses, and be. It's difficult. I was going to say I can't see any positives at the moment. I just did a preview for Liverpool, and we just started talking about historical players just to like lighten the mood at the end.
No, well, I mean, I guess the thing is, hopefully there's light at the end of the tunnel, like you can see it, because
I'm not hoping for
that's
that.
But I mean,
do continue.
No, there'll be, but there has to be. Ten Hag isn't doing this and not seeing something that he likes every game, every day that he puts the players out there on the pitch, or else he's not doing his job. But eventually, I think things will, either the back line will look good, or the front line will look good, or the defense as a whole will look better, or something like that, and it'll just gradually change. Because you're not going to fix, like Arteta's first thing was, I'm just going to essentially make sure my defense is solid. And we're like, what about the midfield?
It's a sensible approach, isn't it? Yeah. I think Mourinho did that as well. Set up the defense as historically with Arsenal, though. I think when Arsene Wenger came in, your defense was pretty much there. You had a really good defense. He put the flair in with like Overmars, Bergkamp, Henry. It just made up almost like the perfect team in terms of like how the team was constructed. With ours, you need to start from the back with like a goalkeeper, and you did that last year, didn't you? You got goalkeeper, defense. You've adding like Jesus and the other players that are linked. That you look at these players linked, and they're all an improvement over what you've got. So
that is, and that's a key thing you just said there, that every player that you bring in has to be better than somebody on your squad, because if not, then you're not getting any better. Your floor is just staying right where it is, and you're never pushing it up. So
that's the thing for Manchester United fans. The player that comes in, you want it to be a first-team player, and almost relegate a current first-team player to a squad role or the bench, and then that's the only way you really push forward. That's why some of the players linked recently, like Rabiot and Arnautovic, were like, "What the hell is this, like 2008?" what we're doing while we're looking at these players. So
this isn't an out of its mistake city, guys.
What's your about prediction for Arsenal for the season? Like, what do you think's the possible high you can achieve?
What's just league or overall?
Just like league, cup competitions.
League. I've said before we even kicked the ball at Selhurst Park. I was aiming for third. I'm aiming. My expectation is third. If as long as we're in the top four, obviously that's fantastic. But obviously, realistically, you can't, in terms of being at top four, the highest you can get is third at the moment because Liverpool and City were.
I was thinking that City are like a different class. They won the league despite wobble, and they just respond by buying more quality players. And then Liverpool might be a bit of transition from the Mane leaving. Nunez will be there in a few years. Yeah. But no, you kind of got a battle with Spurs, I think, and Chelsea. That third is up for grabs, really.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And I think in terms of cup competitions, I think for me, I said this during the stream. For me, not just the obviously saying third, but win at least either the league or FA Cup, get to semi-finals or the other, and win the Europa League. Get that European monkey off our back since we haven't won a European trophy since '94.
Yeah. So all those things required that you have the depth to cover, and I don't think right now.
Down to me, I'm a fan.
No. As a fan, if I'm going to analyze it, I'm going to go. I want all those things, but I know with the way that this window is going to probably close, we're not going to have all the numbers to keep up in all of those in the competition, so that you can say like either the league and Europa League are like legitimate. Like yes, let's make a run at those two. Or if you make a deep run, if you make a deep run in the cups, it just spreads you out a little bit even more thinner. And unless you start picking up some more players in January, then you're going to be struggling. And like the trick is to get through November unscathed.
The World Cup isn't helping either. That's the thing. For Manchester United fans, we're almost writing off top four. But at the start of the season, you had like an option, didn't you? With like, can you get top four? If not, you got the Europa League, and they're kind of like the things you want to target. Obviously, FA Cup, League Cup can be distraction, and we saw when Liverpool won the league, they suspiciously exited cup competitions very quickly. But it's a factor, isn't it? Liverpool did that last year, a very long Champions League run, almost won it. But that maybe cost them in the league a bit with a few games at the end of the season.
Was it 1 point, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you play in 3 finals and you lose the league by 1 point. And you're like, well, which one would I have liked to be to like say, you know what? If we didn't get into the final here, would that giving us the extra point there?
I know.
Would that giving us the extra
in hindsight, but at the time though, there's this potential massive achievement, isn't there? That I was getting genuinely worried as a Manchester United fan. I was watching Liverpool close down City in the league, get through Europe, and I was like, what's going on? This is like the worst season ever.
Yeah, but also you think about it. You do that, you pretty much battle on all 4 fronts as best as anybody did. Right? And then the next step is you get rid of one of your top scorers, one of your top players. And then you start, and like when in reality, you probably just needed to get better as opposed to like switch in and out players at that point. Because like you said, Darwin is still, as far as he's young and he's already shown his youth on the pitch, and it's going to cost him a couple games. But to keep up with City, you really needed to just bring in a player.
I think Liverpool needed to keep everyone they've got, or if they brought in players, do like Man City did, where you move on Jesus, you get in Haaland, you get someone that is going to be quality. Yeah. And City do it so smoothly, it's like makes it even worse. But I think Liverpool, for me, even though they finished second, I think they were the team that really needed to splash out, because they've got a really good opportunity the next 2 years to win trophies, and they really need to maximise this chance, because a lot of their squad is aging. And so for me, I think in a couple of years' time, teams like Arsenal with like great young players could overtake Liverpool if Liverpool don't strengthen. I mean, Chelsea, not Chelsea. Tottenham as well. They've got not as young players as you do, but they've got. I won't mention them too much because
Well, I mean, because think about it, like if they, they went from competing on all fronts. Now this year, everybody assumes they're going to be a little bit weaker, so they're probably not going to have 3 cup finals to play in at the end of the season, probably. And it could be worse than that because it's even more competitive now in the league, right? And you're going to get beat up even more probably because teams are a lot deeper than they were before. And, and it isn't as like Real Madrid is like deciding we're going to take a step back either. You know what I mean? They didn't take a step back in any of the moves that they've made so far. And it's like, well, there you go. They're young players that are coming off the bench are only going to get, much better than they were before. So now, their bench, which was strong already, is now more experienced and coming in ready to go. So you're battling with that, and you've taken a step back. Even City, they probably needed to take an even bigger step to even keep up with Real Madrid based on what we saw last season. And so yeah, it's going to be tough. I actually do have to go. I got a show in about an hour and a half.
Thanks for letting me on, Ryan. I just saw you were live. Thought I'd join in, and I just wanted to. Because I saw the tweets earlier, I just wanted to say, from a Manchester United point of view, I struggle to see what Arsenal fans are complaining about at the moment. That's just my view.
Thank you.
That's just my outside view. Obviously, I don't want Arsenal to do too well, but I can't see what the problem is. Honestly, I think you'll be fine this year.
Yeah, it's no problem. And thanks, obviously, coming on, and Gary as well. Thanks for that, and everyone in the chat. Minus a little hiccup in the chat. I'll get onto that later off air. Everyone else, thanks for coming along. Keeping us company for the last few weeks in these documentaries. I'll be back tomorrow for a podcast to preview the Bournemouth games. I nearly forgot that we were playing this weekend. Bloody hell. Bournemouth, and then obviously doing a watch-along on Saturday. Again, brain's gone to mush. We'll go live at 5, half hour before kickoff, go for the teams, all that stuff, with the guys. And the usual build-up we usually do. And then obviously match of the day stream later on in the evening to hopefully get to watch Arsenal thump Bournemouth twice in a day. Hopefully, touch wood. Apart from that, yeah, enjoy the rest of your evening, guys. See you over the weekend. And as always, up the Arsenal. Come on, you Gunners.